Welcome to It Was All a Dream official podcast. I am your host, Ashley Greggins, and today we are on episode 15. Today's guest is Steph, and she owns Neon Pilates. Now, Steph was very open and honest with me about the struggles and just how hard it is to have your own business and to run the business. And I really appreciated her vulnerability in it because, so like me, I don't like to glamorize what it's like to have your own business. I like to be real and honest. So it was such an open conversation, and I know you're going to enjoy it. Hi, Steph. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay, thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Are you nervous?
A bit, yeah.
Do you know what? I actually said last week that I was going to stop asking this now because everyone starts the same. I need to think of sort of how's your day been?
Busy,
Chaotic.
hectic, everything.
So you own Neon Pilates, Is that correct? But I want to just start from the start and tell me, because there's actually a whole story behind how you got to Neon Pilates, and you had a business before that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
I haven't found.
What school did you go to?
Also.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Also, yeah. And then you've done a little bit of coaching as well that I want to touch on. So what was your first job? Let's start there.
Oh my God. I think it was Savers, on County Roads.
What is that,
like Superdrug?
Okay,
Savers.
yeah.
Sure it was Savers.
So retail.
Yeah. And then I literally went into loads of different jobs like that. Like I came out to school with no GCSEs. I was job hopping.
Yeah.
I worked at Vertex, all the things we all did.
So you've done a few little jobs here and there, and then how did you get into self-employment?
So at the time, Red Driving School did this big massive campaign about becoming a driving instructor, and it was like, right, that is it. I love driving, always had. Hated my lessons, but loved to drive. So I went into the opticians and it was like, I'm going to become a driving instructor. And I remember there was one person who kind of like side-eyed me, looked at me and was like, and that was it. It was like, I'm doing it. 100% I'm doing it. So, yeah, I'm sure only something like 9% of people actually qualify as instructors. You go through the training. Right. So it's made up. And again, I feel like I'm quite competitive with myself. So I want to make it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make sure it happens. So it did. And that was it.
Yeah. People always ask me, like, are you quite competitive? And I'm like, only with myself.
Yeah.
Like, I do not care about winning a game. Like, I've got three brothers now. I've got 3 brothers. I was always the loser. Yeah, 3 lads and a sister. But I'm so competitive with myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bit too harsh on myself with that.
I think you've got to be though if you're in a business.
Yeah. So take me through that, because for some reason I just assumed that driving instructors had just been driving for a few years and just decided to get people in the car. So that's not the way it goes.
No. So you've got to do a part 1 test, a part 2 test, a part 3 test. So you've got to do your part 1, which is, God, what was the part? Oh, the part 1 is the theory again. You've got to pass it to the highest standards. Then your part 2 is your driving test again. So your driving ability again, that's got to be higher than the normal test. And then you've got to do a teaching test. So at the time, back then, I had to teach an examiner. He would tell me a subject, I would have to teach him. And then he would have to play a role. Yeah. And it was awful, horrendous, the worst. And I didn't pass it first time, passed second time.
You know what? It obviously makes sense because, of course, they have to be. I just thought they were really good drivers, and you just
to take money, you've got to be qualified on the register.
Yeah. Okay. And I know you don't do that now. Is that something that you would fall back into, or is that something that is a bit like me with my dental nurse and it's gone probably? Yeah.
So I only stopped in May, so I'm gonna stay on the register. I'll see.
Yeah.
Probably not. The roads are too handy. I don't like it.
Right. Yeah.
I've done it for 12 years. I don't know. I just kind of lost it. I don't know. It's just such a negative place. I think the roads. I hate it.
Yeah. And then but that business is still standing, isn't it? That is still going. So plug it, because obviously she was fabulous and it's still going.
Yeah. So when I started, I worked for a company called Monarch, who were in St. Helens. So I was the only instructor in Liverpool. And then COVID hit. We had to stop. My husband had trained as an instructor when I'd been doing it about 6 years. So he then worked for Monarch. What did he? I can't remember. But when we went through lockdown, let's just do it ourselves. So we set up Neon driving school, and then we did that together. I changed it to auto. He does manual.
So you best of both worlds. Perfect.
So he's still teaching manual, but I think he'll change auto in 2 years.
Yeah, well, I think that's the way cars are going really now, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's like a good business scheme that they had the both of them.
I actually used to train people to be instructors as well. Okay. So I went into that.
Because I am sure most people watching this would have seen them cars on the roads, because I used to see us everywhere.
Yeah. Well, we took the logos off now, because when you got your logos on, you can't do anything wrong. Not that I do anything wrong generally, but like you can't park
100%
anywhere. People will tell you you're meant to be an instructor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were the same. I had the Elegance mobile, didn't I, with Elegance all over it. I could not wait to get I would have people like, I know where you live.
Yeah. Well, we live on the main road. Everyone knows where we live.
Yeah. Someone once knocked up at my house to Ross and was like, I've got an appointment with Ashley for Botox. It was like, you're not here.
Leave.
Yeah.
People are nuts.
Yeah. So that was the thing. I couldn't wait to get rid of mine. And then when I got my new car, everyone was like, hey, good to put the sign up. And I was like, never again.
Never again. I would never do that again.
Such good advertising.
It's good advertising.
Yeah.
I think for that job as well. But I think if you can put a roof box on, you can take that off.
Oh, perfect.
But once you've got your signs down the side, they're there forever.
Yeah. Mine actually damaged the car as well. Someone's probably driving on with a stain. Elegant to the stain as well. Yeah, so your husband has now took over that, and it's still a business that's going. But before we touch on obviously your business now, she is definitely an entrepreneur, by the way. What you've done is, which I think was fantastic, because I'd never heard it until obviously I was having a look at your socials, is you actually done coaching for people that were anxious over their tests. Yeah. So speak to me about that.
So I can't remember how many years ago, but the DVSA made big changes where they didn't want people to instruct, they wanted us to coach. So they wanted it to be more client-centred, so to try and change drivers' behaviour, get them to take responsibility for decisions. So I then joined up with a company called Try Coaching, which they're not going anymore. But at the time, they were like the biggest coaching company going for driving instructors. So went through, did a BTEC level 4 for driving, for coaching development. That then led me into another coaching qualification, and then another one. And it just kind of built from there. And then I trained in meditation as well. So I thought, right, I'm having loads of people who come to me with anxiety, stress, nerves for the driving test. So then I created a driving test nerves workshop, which went really well, did that online. And then that was where it kind of led into Pilates.
Yeah, okay, yes, yeah. That's how we get there. What I've just took from that though, because I've went back to where you just said you left school with no GCSEs. Yeah. So as an adult, something happens up there, because the amount of qualifications you've just rolled off, doing your 30 basically twice, passing to a higher level.
I think I actually enjoy to learn, I love to learn, I just didn't think I took school serious.
Same, exactly the same.
I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly the same. Now, if I'm at home and I'm watching telly, I get a bit frustrated with myself, because I'm like, we'll just learn something. Just learn something. Like, that's the way I am. We're in school, I was just never like that. But I always do say, like, there were certain lessons where I just shouldn't have been in that lesson. They should have took me out, and they should have put me in science, or they should have extra science kind of things, because there was just like certain lessons that just weren't for me. Like, some kids like to sit at a desk, that's not me. Like, at all.
Exactly that. Everyone learns different. And I think that, again, that's what I learned when I went into coaching, is learning different people's learning styles. Like, not everyone's going to engage sitting at a table. Like, some people prefer to do things. Some people prefer to listen to things or watch YouTube videos. So,
and could you take that into the driving instruction side of it? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, like, you'd be able to, like, because obviously we've all got to learn.
You'd adapt everything based on just little things that people would say. Like, they might say certain phrases, like, feel like. So if they say they feel like, usually they're like a doer. They like to do things. They like to feel it out and test it. Okay, so then you pick up on language then as well. And then you could make the lessons easy for people.
Brilliant. That workshop is brilliant. Yeah, it really is.
It really helped, because I think the breathing techniques is massive for your driving test, because when you're nervous, your nervous system just goes into fight or flight. And when people go into fight or flight, the brain shuts down, they're not thinking anymore. And that's when people fail the test. Yeah. It's not because they can't drive.
No, I failed mine first time. Failed 30, failed thing. I done it the second time. And I was exactly the same. I could fully drive. I'd been doing it 2 years. Like, he was gutted for me, but I was just a nervous wreck.
It's always the same. Like, the best drivers just don't pass first time.
You know what happens though is you definitely get a more nervous driver as you get older, don't you?
Yeah.
You definitely do. That's probably why you think.
More confident now. Maybe because I've done it as a job now.
When I was 17, I thought I was like on a rally race. Yeah. No, honestly. I used to take risks that I wouldn't know. And now I'm like a snail on the road. Yeah, I'm so nervous. So nervous. I've never touched wood. Nothing's ever happened for me to be, but I am such a nervous driver.
I feel like I get worse.
I just think I'm just more aware of the world and like all the muscles on the road. So maybe it's not just like the driving test, maybe it's
do you know what? I do think the roads have gone worse. Like, people have got no patience. Everyone's angry. Everyone wants to prove their rights. Yeah.
We were actually just saying today, just fast pace of fast wheel, just like on a little side thing, is I was saying they are bringing filler out for boobs, but it's through plastic surgery. I haven't really heard about it. I don't know if it's filler or something, but it's through like a big doctor's done it. It's not like a side street thing. And they were saying like it's gonna be like a lunchtime surgery. And I was like, who wants that? Wow. Like, but this is how like fast paced things are happening. Like, no one wants downtime. No one wants. They just want it like they're like a lunchtime surgery. It's crazy. So let's get on to the Pilates then. Okay. So this is how long has it been going for now? Because I know when you moved into here, but it was
I qualified just maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
something like that. I can't remember.
You know what it was? I was trying to look because you'd actually posted about the sign, and I was like, no, she was in there before, but the sign had gone up a little bit later, hadn't it? Yeah. So
the sign was a nightmare. So I had a banner. First, when I was in the old unit, I had a banner, and then we had loads of wind. The banner blew away, and then I found it somewhere, and then I put it back up, and then it blew away again, and then I was like, oh, I should get a proper sign. But then it was moving.
Yeah,
the sign's been.
Signs are very expensive as well. So it was the biggest one of my things that I was like couldn't get over how expensive they was.
I know, and I hate my sign.
Oh no,
I'm not getting a new one. I just wish they'd got it in white.
Yeah, but it's keeping it clean, you know.
Well, this is what it's great. And then there's seagulls everywhere, isn't there? So there's seagull shit on it.
So my Winderman that comes, he's every 2 weeks, and I've said to him, can you come every 5 days? And he was like, I possibly couldn't. And I was like, I can't have the signs dirty. No. I'm like OCD.
But it's everything though, isn't it? What people see.
Yeah, we've gone off on a tangent. We're on the same business park, and the seagulls are like, honestly, they are a nightmare.
They're massive as well. They're really loud. You can eat all those open. They're nightmare.
They are a nightmare. Right, so your typical Pilates. So when I think about Pilates, the first thing I'm thinking about is Instagram, stunning bodies, very healthy. All stop for like a latte before they go and that. But it's not that, is it? There's so much more. So if I was to not know much about Pilates, which I don't, to be honest with you, only that I know I should do it for my back, where does it start with the, like, where is it cardio? Is it muscle? Is it a bit of both?
So there's loads of different forms of Pilates. I focus more on strength because I love strength training. So I love strength training. I want to get stronger. I'm 40 in 3 weeks. So, yeah. So I'm just very aware that as you go into your 40s, you're going to go through perimenopause. When you hit 30, you start losing muscle mass. Oh, thanks.
You do?
But you start losing muscle mass, bone density, everything starts to reduce as you get older. So I started looking into that. And I started thinking, right, I just want to incorporate this in. And then I follow a lot of like the Australian Pilates instructors and studios. And I just really take inspiration from them. Yeah, so I'm not like a typical Pilates at all.
Yeah, you've told me about that because it's big over there, isn't it? Yeah.
They're like well ahead of us.
I think it is coming definitely over here more now. Do men do it? Because I've not noticed that, do they?
I've just had a man in this one.
Yeah, okay.
Someone wrote her husband's in.
Yeah, because it's so...
People generally will bring the fellas in to prove to them that they're not doing stretching. Just to show them how hard it is. Because they go home and they're like, oh my God, my legs, oh my God, and they're sweating.
This week's episode is sponsored by Cosmetology with Elegance. Affordable skincare, high-end ingredients. We'll link the website below. Let's get back to the episode. So what is the difference between Reform Pilates and Pilates for people that don't know?
So Reformer Pilates is on a machine. So you've got the Reformer machine. normal Pilates, you would normally do it on a mat, but then there's other things like wall Pilates, people like incorporate bar into it and stuff. So, but I mainly just do it on the performer.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Yeah, they look brilliant. Where does it come in with yoga? Because that's what I always used to like. I used to compare the two of them, but they're not unlike
I
that.
don't know much about yoga at all. I've actually never done yoga.
Okay, so they're not similar.
Well, as far as I think they may be similar, but I've never done yoga before. And again, I think there's different types of yoga, like different versions of yoga. With Pilates, there's like different versions, like there's classical, contemporary, athletic. I focus on athletic because I love it.
Yeah.
I do incorporate some of the like the classical typical Pilates moves, like the 100, stuff like that, but I do focus a lot on strength training.
So if you do that beginner, advanced kind of thing, say for me who like just come in, would I just die on the first class?
No, not at all. So we do all of our classes at all levels. So when we first opened the studio, I was doing some beginners classes, some all levels classes. But what I was noticing was if the beginner's time was better for someone who was like, and I'd say an advanced or an intermediate, they would just come to that time and they wouldn't even notice that it was a beginner's. So then I'd end up with like 4 beginners in. 4 people who've been coming for ages and then 1 beginner. And I was like, well, it doesn't make sense to have these beginners classes because there's no beginners coming. So I made them all levels, but the all levels literally does go from beginners to advanced.
Yeah.
So every exercise starts with something everyone can do in the room.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, I'll add challenges. So if you want to make it harder at this, I'll give options on springs. So
yeah, I think that's better then,
yeah. Everyone then can choose the version of the move that they like, that works for their body.
Yeah, and also you can see what you're going to step up to. Yeah.
Well, I can kind of like I watch the room as well, and I'll only add layers based on who's in. So I'm not going to start adding layers in that I know potentially people might not be able to do, because you want people to leave feeling successful and challenged at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, they're all levels. We do beginners courses though.
Okay.
Because I know there's a little bit of a psychological thing of the word beginners. So some people, they don't want to go to an all levels. They do want to come to a beginners and they do want to start everything from the beginning and they want to learn about the reformer. So that's why I make the courses. So they run once a month, 4-week courses.
Yeah, that's good.
Everyone's starting together as a team. No one's ever done it before.
Yeah.
And there's like a bit of like we have a laugh as well. It's like a nice team feel to it.
Yeah, and I bet you from the beginning to like moving on to like when they finish the course and that, you must be so much stronger and probably
some people still want to do the course again.
Do you?
Yeah, like I've had a few people say, so Steph, do you think I should do the beginner's course again? And I'm like, absolutely not. If you know about the reformer, you know how to move with it, you know about challenging, and if you want to or not, go.
It's probably just a confidence thing, isn't it? Yeah.
100%.
Right, so I wanted to apologise to Steph. We're going to be a little bit choppy on this because we keep getting interrupted. It is definitely time for the podcast studio. It only happened to you. So I know the edits are going to be a little bit, so I'm going to have to explain that's what's going on. What I want to know, I don't even know whether you know this, and if you don't, that's absolutely like fine, to be honest with you, because not a lot of people do know. But what I'm thinking about is where are we going with it? Do you have any future plans?
No, I have no idea. Ideas pop into my head and I run with them. I wing it. I just do whatever comes into my head. Like by like weekly, it's like, would you just stop? Like that is literally just it. Like I don't know. I'm definitely growing. I'm getting 2 new reformers.
Yes.
So I'll have 7. And then at that point,
a little bit of help.
Yeah, help. I don't know them from there, I really don't.
Hopefully as well, you'll obviously with this podcast going on, to this episode going on, people that know about it or whatever, or think you're looking to say like, oh, I didn't know like you were looking for stuff. So if you are an instructor, it's a fabulous place to work. She's a lovely person.
Really are.
So when we was just gone off and when we was having a little chat, then we were just talking again about. So I was saying, for me to think about Pilates, I feel like I would feel intimidated doing it, because for me, I feel like I'd need to wear a bralette and my rolls would be out, and I'd have to have matching gym wear, like matching socks.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I always have matching socks, but I feel like there is like that stereotypical that kind of thing. You were just explaining to me that it's just not even
I've literally gone into the studio with the thought in my mind, I don't want my studio to be like that at all. Anyone can do it, any age. I was doing a menopause challenge last year at home. So that menopause challenge was to encourage women who were 35, 40 plus, who would be scared to go to something like this because they're thinking, well, it's for Instagram people and I'm not skinny enough and I'm not tall enough and I'm not coordinated. Just so they know, this is a place for me to be able to go. Like, I never put videos on Instagram where everyone's in time. Like, people leave the studio sweaty, like they've been dragged through a hedge backwards, dying, bright red. And if you haven't left like that, well, what did you do?
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to make it like a place where people could feel that there's no fear to come there. Anyone can do it.
Because what I have heard of it is good exercise.
It's amazing exercise. Like, we've got people with knee injuries, we've got someone with osteoporosis, fibromyalgia. There's lots of different conditions that can be worked with as well. Menopause, like all conditions, we can adapt every exercise for it, and we do adapt every exercise for it. The lady that comes here who's got osteoporosis is doing amazing. Like, she has to have tests every so many months to check where her bone density is up to. In February this year, they said to her, "What are you doing? Your bone density's improved so much, you didn't need this medication."
Wow.
She needed that time. She went in for balance tests. Her balance has improved. They were so impressed with the progress she's made. And she's been coming now, I think, for about 18 months, 2 years with me.
What age range?
She's...
Range, that's what I mean.
Age range. So I would literally say most of my clients, I would say, are 35 plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not even that 20-year-old Instagram.
No. I do have loads of 20-year-olds as well. Like, I've got amazing clients who are in the 20s.
Yeah.
I've got some in the... Like, my older daughter, she's 18 and she does it as well. But I would literally... I asked myself the same. What the hell? I know. But now, like, I've literally got people in the 60s going up towards 70s, and everyone's welcome, and we just have a laugh.
That's good.
While we get fit.
And I'm glad that we've got that in as well, because it definitely has got that, like, stereotype to it.
There's a fear, like, people are scared to come in, and when they leave, they're like, I wasn't expecting to be like that at all.
Oh, that's so
I was expecting to not fit in, and I was expecting to be too hard. Like, it is hard, and it should be hard, but there's different hards for different people.
Of course. And you were just saying that you make it a point of, like, making everyone welcome in the room.
Yeah,
like,
so when you come in, everyone knows everyone's name. I would hate someone to come in and be sitting on the end and everyone's talking, you're on your own. Don't like that one bit. So everyone knows everyone's name. If you've never been before, you're introduced to everyone and we have a laugh.
Oh, it sounds so good. I'm 100% people in a class.
Yeah, booked it.
100%. I said this last time I spoke to you, but no, I am. I think I would really enjoy it. So I'll talk about it because then I know obviously people can relate. I've got lower lumbar problems in my back. That's actually why I come out of dental nursing, because we went into doing implantology and it was 6-hour surgeries and it was just killing me back. And it is one of the biggest things that they've always recommended me to do is Pilates. Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. I would literally say any injury, well, it depends on the injuries that you've got. Obviously, you've got to be signed off by your doctor and okay to exercise. But everything can be worked with, everything can be adapted. Like, there's nothing that we couldn't figure out. To make it accessible to everyone.
I'm definitely going to have a go. What other exercises do you? So take away Pilates, because you're obviously quite an active person. Yeah. Do you just train in your own gym or do you go to other places?
I go to Lois.
Oh, there you go, Body and Souls. Yes.
Yeah, so I've got a surgery coming up in November, so I wanted to get, and I'm also 40 in 3 weeks, and I wanted to get in the best shape.
Amazing.
Ready for my 40s. So I got
which you've achieved.
I feel I've still got a bit to go, but I've watched Lois on Instagram for a while, and I was like, she's definitely my vibe. Like, she is. I can just tell. So I contacted her, booked in, and I've been with her since. And I would do their classes there as well. The classes are amazing.
Yeah, I've heard about these. We hear the music, don't we?
They're so hard, but they're so good. Like, the challenge.
Is this Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's all we hear.
Classes.
Everyone that comes to me are like, Joe's class.
They're so hard, but they're unreal. They're the best.
Yeah.
They're brilliant.
It's a nice little park that we're on. It's got this little thing.
I always said though, you know, when I was in the studio down there, when I'd see everyone running up and down, I'd go, I feel so sorry for them running up and down the car park. I'd never do that. Never seen me running up, and here I am, split back and forth, pissing down rain. Oh.
It was a big, massive thing for me. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to move on a business park or not. I didn't know whether it was like aesthetically pleasing enough for it cleaning up and so. I mean, obviously, what I'd done to the builder was, made up for that. But it has been one of my best business moves. The support I get on this park is crazy.
I think that's it. It just isn't. It's a nice group of businesses.
It is, it is,
and everyone's just friendly and nice.
Yeah. I'm working at the minute with some influencers, and I'm just dipping my toe into that side of TikTok and stuff. And I'm going to do an event soon. I'm going to speak to all yous and want to do we'll all come and do Pilates. Want to do. I just think there's so much on the park that I can utilise as an event day kind of thing. Yeah, so we were thinking about that. So business can be overwhelming and stuff, which we've talked about. So what are you doing to de-stress? What are you doing to switch off? Do you have a day off?
Or Sunday?
Yes, same.
That is it.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun? For fun. Look at holidays.
Yeah.
Literally.
Everyone says
literally, I look at holidays and I think where I'm going to go next. Mike says this to me all the time. I need something to be able to have as mine when I can switch off.
Yeah.
I would literally say exercise.
I think it's hard for you because exercise, that's what I mean. I think it's hard. So my releases obviously have just been telling me to do tap dancing on a Monday night. But I know if I was exercising all through the week for my job, my outlet would not then be an exercise. So
I like them because I teach so much. I like them to go to a class where I'm not teaching it. And I think that's why I love my PT.
Oh, yes.
I love to go to Joe's class where it's not me. I've got no input in it. I'm just being told what to do.
Yeah.
And I love that. I can switch off completely.
Same with me with a facial. If I go somewhere else for facial, it's a dream.
Yeah.
But just don't speak to me.
Yeah.
At all. Which is dead slack, because when you come in here and I'm won't shut up.
No, but you have your things, don't you? I think if you do something for a living, it's nice to then go and get that thing done without you having to put anything into it.
Yeah. The only problem with me is I always leave with a business plan. So honestly, I am I can this. If I bought the building, and I'm Ashley.
It's
just in us.
Last night about what I could do with the studio to make it more of create a bigger space and what I would do with that bigger space. Not right now.
It's just in us. It's in us.
I know.
It's mad because my dad always says the bigger you get, the more mouths you feed. Do you know? He always puts that in my head. And this was
that's stressful, isn't it?
Yeah. It's insane having somebody else's wages on your head. It's the maddest feeling. It is crazy sometimes, and I'm not even joking. Me and Ross have beans on toast because Ella's wages needs paying. It's the maddest thing.
I felt like that was my biggest fear taking people on was right. I've got to make sure that they're paid before.
And especially if you're like me and you're not good with money.
Yeah. See, I'm alright with money, but I think I've only just started taking a small wage in the last few months.
Yeah, you've told me about this. You actually take a wage.
Literally, only a small, not massive, but I was paying other people more than I was paying myself.
Yeah.
Well, more than I was paying myself.
I can't get my head around it. I cannot get my head around taking a wage. I don't know how it works. I just cannot get my head around it. But everything is paid through here. So my mum goes, you just don't have that figure.
It's not a physical
that you pay, but it is something that I have to start doing because I'm limited company. That's not something the way I'm doing this.
I have an accountant and he tells me, you have to do it this way, you have to do that. And I like that. It's like having someone else to tell me, you have to do that. Yeah. And that's what I do.
Where you've got your business coach, my thing is I want a financial manager.
Yeah.
If I could just work and they just said to me, that's yours, you spend it, and they've done everything else financially because I was in an IVA. I got myself in an IVA when I was younger, so I know I have that money habit. I know that I got myself. So for me to have control over the finances of 3 businesses, I'm it makes no sense.
It's a lot anyway. Even for someone who's good with money. So if you're not the best with money, it's a lot of responsibility. It's massive. It is. But that's where I've really put because what I do for fun is I read. I am a proper bookworm. Do you read? I've got 3 books on the go now. Have you read? Yeah, I do. To read. Do you? I just don't feel my mind just doesn't switch off that easily. it just doesn't switch off. Like I read the Britney Spears book on holiday, and I did finish it, but that was so basic. It was Britney Spears' book. It wasn't like a novel. I think I've read like one book on a holiday front to back because it was amazing, but I've never read a full book since.
Try audiobooks. Audiobooks are alright, so I listen to Harry Potter every night on audio. I've probably listened to it for 5 years, honestly. Yeah, I just go on a loop with it. But no, I've started learning myself about like money management and stuff, but not only that, like investing and like the power of money and stuff like that, because psychology of money it's called, actually, because we're just not taught it in school.
No, we're not.
When I read these things, I'm like, I'm supposed to work for these people, I'm not supposed to have it, so I have to teach myself it.
I know it's mad the way you're not taught that in school.
You're just not supposed
I've been reading The Diary of a CEO, and that's a good book.
Love that, yeah.
But then again, that's like snippets. It's not a big full book. You can just read sections of it.
Yes.
And it's not, you're not going to read it in order, and you're not going to miss anything.
No.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's easy reading for me.
Right, I'm going to throw it on the spot now, because we're coming nearly to the end, but I always like to throw it on the spot. What is a personal strength? It's funny because I could sit here now and just through this conversation I could list strengths that I know that you've got, but when it's to yourself, it's hard.
I would say it's probably a strength and a weakness, but my honesty.
Oh.
The fact that I'm hard working. Yeah, I would say those things.
Honesty is a good one.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
I don't like liars.
I think just start with the truth.
Yeah,
lead with the truth.
Exactly that. So I'd say that's a strength. It can be a weakness.
Yes, you can offend people.
But I would definitely say that's a big strength.
Just touching on it, because we haven't mentioned it, might be quite rude not to, but your children, you're a mum. How do you find balancing business and being a mum?
To be honest, I think being self-employed has made a huge difference. So when I had my older daughter, I was 21 and I worked in an optician's. So it was that, again, that I didn't enjoy. I had to work on Saturdays, so my mum had to take her to dance every Saturday. I wasn't there. So I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do with her. She had to go to back to school club every single night that I was in work. Whereas now my younger daughter, she's 9. She's never been to after. Well, she's been to after school club maybe twice, but she doesn't. Yeah, she just doesn't have to do those things, and we take her to dance and all the things she does, we do it. I don't need someone else to do it for me.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. They say it's, you can be present in their life.
I'm much more present, 100%, and I'm able to do things without needing someone else to do it for me.
And will you push them in to have their own business, or will you want them to go the uni way or the what, or just?
I think I try to push to do whatever they want to do. Lillian is very academically, like, she's smart, like, she's really, really clever. Like, she's doing her A-levels now. She's doing Spanish, photography, and English language, so she doesn't know what to do next. She's potentially going to go into Pilates as a bit of a side thing, but I don't know, wherever she wants to go.
Yeah.
But then I kind of think, if you want to go to uni, go to uni. If you don't.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest compliments I could give my parents is, I don't know if it's a compliment, maybe it is a compliment, but one of the biggest things is, I know that everything I've done and everything has been installed in just watching them.
Yeah.
Like, people go to me now like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I just used to watch my mum and dad do the wages on a Sunday morning around the kitchen and and I think it is, I've learned so much more from living, now that I've got my own business, I've learned so much more living in their house with them than I ever could. Yeah. And the bad things as well, like I've seen business for what business is, kind of thing. And I think it is one of the most best things to be brought up with somebody who is like that role of having their own business, because it makes you believe, well, I can do it.
You can do it, 100%. I think that's what I try and show them, is anything you want to do, you can do it. Because that is just got to jump. Yeah. Like, sometimes things will fail. Like, I've failed at loads of things. Sometimes they will fail, but you just get up and you move on to the next, and you just carry on, and something will work.
And that is where we're ending.
Yeah.
Right on that quote there. No, I've loved it. Honestly, I've really loved it. I do want to apologise again for the little interruptions, but I've absolutely loved having you. You come into the clinic a few months ago and I was like, I need to get you on the pod because I just knew you speak really well, you're really educated, and you're really bubbly as well. And I think you're going to have about 10 different businesses in another 10 years. I think you're going to be on it again.
Oh, no, I really can't. I wouldn't be shocked though, to be honest.
I can see it in you, yeah.
I just don't stop. Like, my brain just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
That's probably my weakness.
And I am 100% coming to do Pilates. Yeah. So give us some of your socials so they can have a look on your socials.
So it's Neon Pilates, I think. So Neon Pilates.
I would hope so.
I'm sure it's Neon Pilates. Yeah. I can't remember what Facebook is.
Yeah, we'll put it underneath. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Loved it.